everybody, Jimmy Leslie here, your Frets Acoustic editor at Guitar Player Magazine. I have in my hand the Taylor Legacy 514 CE. This was released exactly on the 50th anniversary of Taylor going into business, 1974, October 15th. And so the interesting about it is what they've done here. The interesting thing is that they've chosen 5 of the Bob Taylor era editions. Like, so when they first started making guitars, they were not making the Grand Auditorium. They were doing dreadnoughts and other things. And then in 1994, Taylor introduced the Grand Auditorium, the shape, the body style that would define them, be their flagship. And it was kind of the perfect guitar for a guy that might bring a couple of Stratocasters to a gig and was looking for an acoustic option to, play on stage. It's very playable. It's got built-in electronics and it's got the cutaway. So I am really familiar with this guitar. So familiar, and it's, the story is in the review here online, but I'll briefly say it. So I was saving up for a custom guitar in 2008 when the economy crashed, and I needed to find a deal. I wasn't the acoustic editor, guitar player yet. I was working there, but not the acoustic editor. And a friend at an insurance company let me know that a reverend at a church had filed a claim for his missing guitar, which they replaced, and then the original showed up. So they were just going to do a company-wide auction for that. I found out about it, was able to make a pretty low bid and get this guitar sight unseen that I now call the Reverend. And the Reverend is a 1998 514 CE. So over all these years of reviewing so many guitars, the Reverend has remained in my arsenal. And here it is. I mean, as you can see, it looks very, very similar to what I just was playing. It's just, this one's beat up, because I really played this everywhere. I mean, I took it everywhere, from festivals to beaches to stages, travel everywhere. And it has really held up unbelievably well. I came to really appreciate the 514 CE, and only over time did I really understand why. I'm going to play this one for a second so you get a comparison. Right, so what we have here is a special Taylor. It's made with a Western red cedar top and mahogany back and sides, and that's just a rare combination. So that defined the 500 series for Taylor for a long time. And of course, the original Bob Taylor models, like this one, are X-braced, not V-class. They came along and did that to the 500 series in 2018. Then in 2022, Taylor got rid of they updated. They started making it out of urban ironbark instead of mahogany for the back and sides. And I reviewed that as well for the magazine, and it was really cool. But there is some, it's different, and even just the V-Class they're all differences. So even though the V-Class definitely has its giant advantages, there was something special about the Reverend to me, and I've really kept it in my arsenal the entire time. Of course, one of the crazy things about the older guitars is you'd have your big old pickup and preamp system. The preamp system, this is a Fishman prefix. And I kind of like having those controls there when I'm working the guitar on stage. But it's clearly like old-fashioned. Nobody wants to put holes in their guitars anymore, and you get that stuff out of your foot pedals. So the interesting thing about this new one is that it does not have even the Taylor expression system, the ES2 that we're so familiar with. See that? There's just nothing on the back and side there. Um, it has a bags element, a basic undersaddle piezo pickup, and the controls are right there. So I don't have that plugged in at the moment. We're just looking at the acoustic, but basically the magic is here. It's just so cool to have this come up. I'm not surprised now that it's been chosen after having such a great experience with the Reverend, the 1998 for all these years, that if they were going to pick a couple of grand auditoriums, which they did, the 514 CE and the 1714 CE, to represent the classic Bob Taylor design, it would make sense that they did it. And you can't, like I said, if you get a 514 now, it's going to be made out of urban ironbark instead. So the fact that to see this guitar, even, it's just like I said in the review, it's almost like seeing your wife again for the first time. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there it is, 25 years younger with no scratches on it. The neck is fantastic. Having the new frets, having these tuners are wonderful. Mine are quite wonky. You can really feel the difference in having the new frets and the sustain, the nuance, everything on this sounds great. Obviously, the wood's not 25 years old, but there are still certain charms to the other. I'll give it. There's the way that old neck is set up. It's almost kind of on a platform. It seems to me like you get a little bit more of the fundamental sound and like a focus, and you can really go after it. I beat the living crap out of that. Sometimes people say that Western red cedar can't take, that it's soft, that and I don't know. I found that to be able to take pretty much anything, and this one has all those same hallmarks, and I'm just so happy that Taylor has decided to do this to honor the 514 CE with this 50th anniversary legacy edition, and it looks almost identical. It's got the beautiful three ring rosette with the green abalone and just gorgeous mahogany back and sides. It looks great, it plays great, and I'm sure just feeling overjoyed to be almost like reacquainted with a new version of an old friend. And the main thing about this guitar is that it's so versatile. You can play anything on it. You can play any style. You can do your finger picking, your percussive playing. You can play chords. You can play single note runs. You can get up and down the neck. It really is such a beautiful all-purpose guitar. And it's got that classic traditional Taylor tone. It's a little warmer to me than most of the other Taylors because of that Western red cedar top. There's something about that combination with the mahogany. Yet it's still quite articulate as well. So I'd recommend the Legacy 514 CE to anybody who's looking for a super versatile guitar that's pretty reasonably priced considering the way prices are these days, and that just looks great, sounds great plugged in or acoustically. Stage, studio, there's really nothing that it can't do. So I'm going to play a little bit more out, and thanks for listening.